Welcome to Haunt Weekly.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this is Haunt Weekly, a weekly podcast for the haunted attraction haunted entertainment community. Whether you're an actor, owner, or just plain aficionado, we aim to be a podcast for you. And we return to you once again with episode 228. Mm-hmm. Do the quick maths. That's the one that's divisible by 4. Mm-hmm. That means it's time to do the news. And it's an interesting time to be doing the news. I'm not going to even pretend this is a normal news episode, especially a normal April news episode.
No.
Usually by now we're sustained on a diet of Halloween Horror Nights announcements. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Haunt opening announcements, closing announcements, and maybe the odd Easter thing. Happy Easter, by the way, is when we are recording
this. Yes, if you're joining us live.
Happy Easter to you. And if you're not joining us live, happy Easter to you anyway.
Yes.
Whenever you're listening to it. But definitely do take a moment, if you have not done so already, add us to all the correct places. To add us, we are at hauntweekly.com. We're Haunt Weekly on Twitter, Haunt Weekly on Facebook, and of course, youtube.com/hauntweekly is our YouTube channel. All episodes are there for easy access and availability. We're also on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. All right. So, first things first, as we discussed in weeks gone by, we are putting the conference reminders on hold until there are conferences with which to remind you about. So, we've been compiling resources, and we've actually expanded our list fairly significantly this time around. Mm-hmm. So, Crystal, would you like to take the first one?
Sure.
I know it's an even episode, but you can be the even ball.
Well, this is different anyway.
Yeah, it's a different thing, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, so April 17th, there's a virtual movie night that's being put on by West FX. They will be watching via Netflix The Witch starting at 7 p.m. Pacific time, and then Aramentari, The Blacksmith, and The Devil starting at 8:45 p.m. There is a link to the event on their site. Go there if you want to join in and watch these movies with them.
Yeah, West FX. You can actually just find the West FX page, and that'd probably be one of the easiest ways to do it. Mm-hmm. All right. Also, Fearworm Hauntvertising has been doing a bunch of regular webinars through all this.
Right.
Some very interesting ones. I know you've sat through at least one or two of them.
Yes, I sat through last week's about, it was all about how to improve your photos and your videos for marketing.
Yes.
It was very good. I enjoyed it a lot.
So yes, they are doing they're doing a regular webinars. They've got one. They're doing one on TikTok, or have they done that one already? I don't know how the timing on it is.
It's already done.
Okay.
But they are keeping and that's a 3-part series.
Yeah. And
all 3 series are still available on their Facebook page.
Yes. So definitely check that out. They also have things on planning advertising campaigns, like you said, mm-hmm. on improving your photos and your promotional material. Some good stuff in there.
Yeah.
And that's just facebook.com/fearworm. They make it easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
Go ahead.
Next is Haunter's Toolbox. They've been around for a while. We've been talking about them.
Yep, they've been doing a lot of neat stuff lately, too. They've been keeping very, very active in that space with some new webinars and new things, too.
And asking lots of good questions. Yes. So just keep on top of that page.
We mentioned last week about Holly Chrysler, who mm-hmm. is doing regular makeup tutorials on her mm-hmm. personal page. She is encouraging people just to find her on Facebook. There's no good link for this one.
Right.
Just HOLLY space CRISLER. Mm-hmm. It's pronounced Chrysler, but it's not spelled like the Chrysler you drive.
Right.
So, it's CRISLER once again.
Yes. Okay.
And then we have a reminder
that Midwest Haunters Convention has moved to July 24th through the 26th. It'll be located at the Donald E. Stevens Convention Center in Rosemont, Illinois.
And this is what a lot of people are looking to be kind of the replacement for HauntCon, in a way.
Not HauntCon.
I'm not HauntCon.
Transworld.
Since Transworld's looking less and less likely, this is kind of what people are looking as a potential substitute. Obviously, that date is dependent upon current events mm-hmm. and where things go from here. So who knows what may end up happening, but that is the current plan.
Okay.
Also, Masters of Fear. This is actually a post from January 2018, but they have a great post on haunt documentaries. And so it's actually something you found on a thread from, where was it again?
Oh, I just found this Googling.
Okay.
But there is a thread going on. Brian Foreman posted it, I believe, asking for what your favorite haunt documentaries are. I would follow that. I've already saved the post because I was looking for docs to watch during this time.
Yeah, and we're going to find a few. But yes, Masters of Fear has a great list. Now, I will caution you, it's from January 2018 is when this is posted, and the reason I caution you that is because it gives you links where to find them.
Yeah.
And things come in and out of Netflix and stuff like that. So you may have to do your own digging on where to find it. Is what I'm warning you about.
Yeah.
But it's a cool list, and it looks like there's some stuff I didn't know in there.
Yeah.
Some docs I hadn't heard from. Apparently, we really need to see Sliders.
Yeah.
That's what maybe we'll do an episode about in the next couple of weeks. But that's what I've been hearing is we really need to see that one.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be cool.
Okay. After that, another thing that they're doing is a virtual tour of the Paris catacombs. So there is a link to that. You found this one.
Yeah,
so.
this one's it's an interesting one, and I wanted to talk about it because it's a great way to get a little inspiration, if you will. The Paris catacombs are legendary.
Yes, they are.
I mean, if you've ever seen, like in a haunted attraction, the bone walls with skulls everywhere, this is where it comes from, pretty much.
At least one of the places.
It is one of the main inspirations of that type of
Right.
scene. And so it's an awesome virtual tour. Check it out. And it's in English, even though it's catacombs. It's catacombes.paris.fr /en/virtual-visit. I'm going to put the link in the show notes. Don't worry. But it's a great thing, and it's in English.
Yeah.
So don't be, but I don't speak French.
Yeah.
I don't have a crystal with me.
Or I don't want to, read, because, sometimes they will do that.
An intro. So, yes, that is a really cool thing. And, of course, for the foreseeable future, Sundays, 8 p.m., we are going to be live on hauntweekly.com. I'm not hauntweekly.com. Facebook. Motherfucker.
On our Facebook.
On our goddamn Facebook at facebook.com/hauntweekly, doing exactly this thing that we are doing right now.
Yes. And I just threw him off because I'm actually posting the catacombs link to the Facebook Live events.
So there you go.
You have it right now.
I'm going to have it right now. If you want to naff off and do that, I completely understand. I would not fault you.
Look at that. Listen to us.
Yeah, that's fine. I guess that could work. But yeah, so there's a lot of great resources out there. The fearworm stuff in particular, I think, has been interesting and good, useful. Mm-hmm. But that's been the main thing. That's going to be a theme of this entire episode, as you're going to see in a minute. Right. Is finding the ways in which haunts have been adapting to what's going on to do some pretty cool stuff. Yeah. And the haunts, and not just haunts, but like the haunt industry broadly, are doing some pretty cool things.
Yes.
So
yes, we are doing well.
Yes, we are actually doing a lot of neat things. But I wanted to start things off with two non-COVID-19 related stories before we get into what ultimately, of course, is going to be a long run of them. Because it's the news. I mean,
but just before we go on into the news, reminder that we are still looking for resources. If you are doing something,
know someone who is,
or know someone who is, please send that to us. We will be happy to include them and include links. And like we just did, I'll post the link into the live chat if possible. I know that some businesses are also doing discounts and things right now. If you see those, send those to us too. We may consider doing that. We haven't promoted businesses in the past.
But these are unusual times, so we're going to do some unusual things.
Exactly. All right.
So,
got it?
Yeah, very, very cool. All in all, yeah, I mean, I am very happy with the way the haunt industry broadly has responded to this and the things that they've been doing to basically make this as bearable as possible.
Yeah.
How's that?
No.
All right, well, news. Right. We're doing the news. So, like I said, we wanted to do two non-COVID related stories before we jumped in, and one of these stories is happy, and the other one is complicated. We'll just leave it at complicated for now. Yeah. But the first one is not complicated in the least. We have some news about Halloween Horror Nights 30. I did not realize this was the 30th anniversary for Halloween Horror Nights until I read this. Yeah. So that's item 1 right there. Yeah. I did not realize that. But this is we're pulling this from an article by Theron White at Attractions Magazine. Usually by this point in the year, we're starting to drip feed of Halloween Horror Nights. we're doing this house, we're doing this scare zone, we're starting that drip feed. It's not started yet. There have been no announcements. This article actually lists a lot of rumors and speculation, but doesn't have any confirmed houses. They've not actually confirmed anything yet. But they have set up their website for it, and they have, through the use of placeholders, announced how many of each type of event they're having.
Right.
The rumor that existed at one point that they might do 30 houses for their 30th anniversary is not going to happen.
That would be a lot.
That'd be a lot, even for these smaller haunts that Halloween Horror Nights tends to do.
This huge haunt could comprised of smaller intervals, right?
Yeah.
Because Halloween Horror Nights is pretty big.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's the entire park.
Yeah.
But it's separate haunts sprinkled throughout. Yeah. But they're doing 10 houses, 5 scare zones, and 2 show offerings. They're not being clear what that is, though it's widely anticipated they're bringing back, like, musical guests.
Right. Yes.
Which could be really, really cool.
There's some interesting theories out there on who they will bring.
Yeah, all in all, I'm stoked about this. I do hope they start the trickle feed soon, and that we do get some announcements. Now, the other thing they have actually confirmed is that it is still going on as planned. As of right now, none of the planning around Halloween Horror Nights, as we all know, Universal, Disney, etc., they're all closed.
Right.
They are planning to be open, in business, and have this going off exactly as planned. And that bodes well. Because I would expect people at Universal, etc., to have their finger on their pulse on the situation pretty well. And if they're not anticipating issues with their Halloween season, then that bodes well for other haunts, too. I think that's the other piece of good news here.
Exactly.
Now, obviously, this is a very fluid situation. Obviously, things can change. But it's a good sign. It's a good sign.
Okay.
I'm trying to take it as a good sign.
Yeah. No, I think we should. I think we should take that as, this is a big player in the industry. If they say that they're going on and like nothing is going to change, then that's what they're going to do. And that is definitely a good sign for the industry.
At least the plan. I mean, and like I said, everything is very, very fluid right now. So it could change tomorrow. Yeah. But right now, I'm happy to hear that they're not anticipating any interruptions in the Halloween season.
Right.
That's great news. Okay. Oh boy.
So next, yes, you gave me the fun one.
I did not intend to. I can do this one if you want.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
The Museum of Death has stopped selling work by AntiChrist Kramer, who is a known neo-Nazi musician.
An artist, yeah.
An artist.
Yeah, I forgot to put in artist.
Yes.
Because obviously he's an artist, so they're selling his art.
Yeah. The original post that we saw this from was taken down, so there's no link to this. There are a couple of stories out there that you can Google on your own if you want to try to find this, but we don't want to get too deep into the controversy surrounding it.
And a lot of the sources, to be honest, are coming from a place I'm not comfortable linking to.
Right.
How's that?
Exactly.
And the long story short is that, this particular story has attracted an element of the internet that I definitely don't want to link to or give any attention to.
Right.
And also, but I feel like we have to report this because this is fairly significant news. And I mean, Museum of Death was on the HauntCon tour, not this year, but last year.
Right.
So it's obviously considered a haunted attraction by some people, at least, or that style of, or a related attraction.
Yeah, it's an adjacent, haunt adjacent,
at least. Like I said, basically, the controversy started on Twitter. When it was pointed out that the Museum of Death was selling artwork by Kramer, and that he is a well-known neo-Nazi, and this isn't everyone I disagree with is a Nazi. No, actual goddamn Nazi. You Google this guy, it doesn't take but 2 seconds to learn 2 facts about him, and one is that he's a punk musician, and the other is that he's a neo-Nazi, or at the very least a white supremacist.
Yeah.
Those are like the 2 things you learn.
Yes.
And so basically the museum responded to it and did a Facebook post saying that they would stop selling his art.
Right.
They said that they were unaware of his background.
And this is the one located in California.
Yeah, they're the same people that run the one here.
Right.
But so it's both. I would suspect his art was being sold at both. But yeah, the museum is closed right now. It actually closed February 2nd. They are in the process of relocating to a larger building, according to their Facebook. Obviously, though, the New Orleans location is also closed due to COVID-19. But they have had their online store up, and they have removed everything by Kramer from their online store.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my question here is, how did they not know this about him?
Yeah.
It seems to me like that's reaching the point of negligence to not know that.
Yeah, if you do any research at all, you find what everybody else found.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't take a lot of work.
It doesn't. And, we're squicky about the Museum of Death anyway.
Yeah.
We did go one time to see...
The one here in New Orleans. We've not been to the one in Hollywood.
To see what all the fuss was about. Didn't particularly enjoy it, but,
Well, I mean, and that's just it. I think it's possible to have a macabre business without outright glorifying
or
exploiting serial killers, pedophiles.
Yeah.
And it felt like the Museum of Death crossed the line to me into that exploitation and into that glorification almost. Mm-hmm. And that was the issue for me.
Right.
And yeah, I'm glad they fired they stopped buying work from the Nazi. They didn't fire me. He wasn't an employee. He was a commissioned artist. But I'm glad they stopped selling work by the Nazi. I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't ultimately do much to change the calculus about how I feel about the Museum of Death.
Right.
So, I don't know. The whole thing to me is I'm glad they did it. I'm not sure how major of an impact it has right now. Honestly, now is the time in which, if you're going to do that, you do it because you're in mid-move at your main branch. Mm-hmm. So it's easy just to get rid of his stuff and not bring it to the new place, and not have it there. It's the perfect time. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm glad they did it, but like you said, I'm not fond of the Museum of Death, and this doesn't really change that calculus at all.
Right.
I kind of put them in a very similar place that I put Russ McKinney and all that stuff, and that it's definitely haunt adjacent, but I don't want any association with it myself.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough.
I don't want to be connected to it. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now we're getting more directly into the COVID stuff, and oddly enough, I think this is the more upbeat part of the episode. There are no Nazis in the rest of this episode. That is my no Nazi promise for the duration of this episode. All right. Socially distant scares. A Pennsylvania haunted attraction to launch a mobile horror experience. Now, this is taken from a press release.
Right.
No news sites that I found picked this up. Mm-hmm. But it's such an interesting idea, I had to include it anyway.
It is.
Everyone quarantined. It looks like we're going to be on a stay-at-home order at least until the end of May. Mm-hmm. Our governor is in the wink, wink, nudge, nudge, send them more, about the end of May.
Exactly.
So we're anticipating that pretty much any time now.
Right.
What do you do to get your horror on, though, since we're all stuck at home? Well, the Haunted Hills Estate Scream Park, that is a mouthful, I didn't realize that, in Uniontown, Pennsylvania, is introducing a remote 30-day mobile horror experience. If you're interested in this, good news, there's still time. It doesn't start till April 22nd. Now, here's the thing. They teamed up with Long Island, New York-based Shock Theater, and that's like an artist collective type thing, to pull off this attraction. And it supposedly is the chance to, quote-unquote, live in a horror movie.
Yeah.
They're very vague on what they're going to do.
Yeah, well, and, I wouldn't expect them to give too many details, but the things that are included in this that you have to, allow, do give some sense of what they're planning.
Yeah, it is very, very interesting and one of the things that I noticed is I've actually opened up the form to apply because it's kind of a weird process. Mm-hmm. First, you apply for it basically, and do all the certifications, and then they have to send you a waiver.
Yeah. You
sign the waiver, and then they send you an invoice to pay for it.
Right.
So since there's multiple steps, if you want to do this, I would get on it pretty quickly. And I'm actually kind of considering it. Yeah. I'm actually kind of considering it. But anyways, the experience is 30 days long, and it costs $30.
Right.
And it's, like I said, it's not like it's one day of the 30 days. Supposedly, it's an ongoing experience through the 30 days. But that application, they ask for every goddamn thing about you. that is reasonable. They ask for all your social media, your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, your phone number, your email, everything. And like I said, it requires a waiver too, and you have to be 18 plus.
Right. And to me, it sounds like, they're basically going to internet stalk you.
Yeah, it really does. And I with the information they have, especially if you have a public and broad Facebook and Twitter, etc., they'll have enough to stalk you.
Yeah.
They'll definitely have enough to stalk you.
Yeah. So if you're wanting to do it, maybe we do it under my name because yours is so associated with your business.
That's true. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's definitely an interesting idea during these quarantine times. It's a way to get a horror experience, an interactive horror experience, while you're in the comfort of your own home. Yeah. While you're stuck at home. So I think that's pretty cool, honestly.
I think it would be pretty cool if they teamed up with local haunters and paid local haunters to, if you have a ring, go and activate it and, record weird videos in the middle of the night. Not actually contact you or anything. Just, you'll have weird videos on your ring the next morning. Or your other doorbell camera. Or security camera.
I can see that. Now, there's a lot interesting you could do, but there's a lot you can do with just the phone and the mobile contacts, too.
Yeah.
Once again, you're turning over the keys to the kingdom here. And that, to me, is the part that makes me more dubious about doing it than the money. $30 for a 30-day experience, that's a pretty goddamn good deal.
It is.
Now, don't get me wrong, that's a goddamn good deal, but I'm also not super comfortable handing over the keys to the goddamn kingdom either.
Right.
I mean, I'm a pretty easy dude to find.
Right, you are.
But at the same breath, that's a lot.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's something to think about.
Yeah.
But anyways, that is, the link will obviously be in the show notes. But once again, it's the Haunted Hills Estate Scream Park putting that one on. And you can do it from anywhere in the country, too. You don't have to be in Pennsylvania to do it, obviously.
Which is good.
Which is good. So,
That's good to know.
It'd be the only way immediately that I'm going to be able to go to their haunt, just because of geography.
Right.
So that's cool. I'm happy about it. That's cool.
Yeah.
Right?
All right. So the next one is Froggy's Fog, From Smoke to Sanitizer. What they are doing is this article that we are pulling from is from Mike Christensen at the Daily Herald. I'm sure that a lot of you have seen Tater's post about them changing to be able to, provide sanitizer to people.
And sanitizer base.
Yes.
Both of those things, yeah.
Yeah. Well, how they figured this out was that they noticed that their sales of glycerin basically doubled. And that's one of the main ingredients in hand sanitizer. And that's in this article. So they changed their entire operation. Basically, they had to do a lot of work to get their factory set up to be able to do this, including grounding appliances, which I'm not sure why that wasn't done, but, and
sounds like a good thing to do, full stop.
Yeah.
Just a good idea.
Moving things separated so that there wasn't a chance of combustion, because these are volatile components that are being
What?
together.
Ethanol's combustion?
Yeah.
And glycerin's...
Glycerin might be a little bit explosive.
I had no idea.
Yeah. But, so they normally work with big parks. Some of their biggest customers are,
Universal, Disney, etc.
Exactly.
And then it makes a lot of sense. Think about all the fogs and the scents and things they use in their stage shows.
Right.
And in terms
Broadway
of
productions, that you have fog coming out.
Yeah. And they need stuff that is super duper safe.
Right.
And that's like the thing about Froggy's Fog is every product that comes out of that factory is beyond safe.
Right.
And that's... I have never been either dumb enough or smart enough to try to make my own fog.
No.
You either got to be really stupid to do it and just be ready to kill yourself, or you got to be really smart to do it right.
Right.
I'm in that in-between space where I know I shouldn't be messing with it.
Right.
But I'm not smart enough to take a stab at it.
We'll just buy it if we need it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got to be one or the other. And I'm not in I'm in that space in the middle. So I've never attempted it, but I know it's a very complicated process.
Right. And so one of the cool things about this, not only do you get to learn about the non-haunt things that Froggy's works with, but they're also giving away cases to first responders in their area to Maury, Mount Pleasant, and Hampshire counties, and any essential business, I believe, also.
Yes.
But definitely to the first responders, they can just, contact them and come pick up a case.
And they are also producing the base that is going to a lot of distilleries.
Yes.
Because, I know our local rum distilleries are all doing hand sanitizer. Now, we've got some. We're actually using some from our local distillery. It's really neat stuff.
It's great.
It's great.
I like it better than the store-bought gel stuff.
Me too, I agree. It's because it goes into a little misty bottle, and it's not cool. But they are planning on producing, and probably by now producing, between 5,000 and 7,000 gallons per day.
Yeah, I think the last I said was that they're getting ready to ramp up the production.
Yeah.
They're almost, completing the conversion because it was a lot of work to go into
I can imagine it was. But honestly, this is so cool, and it's a great example of the haunt industry pivoting for this time and doing some really very cool things. And for Froggy's Fog, it's great because, like they said, all their major year-round customers in particular ain't open.
Right.
This is a chance to keep the business going and do some good. It's do good and do well.
Yeah.
That was the slogan for the college she used to work at. I'm fucking with Crystal.
Yeah. If you couldn't tell.
Lord, I apologize.
No, you don't.
No, I don't. You're right. So, this brings me to the next one, which is an article by Grant, oh dear Jesus, Shigazola?
Okay, I'm okay with you giving me the sad one because you didn't give me that name.
By Val, dude.
By Grant.
By Grant at WXXV. It's not any easier. 25. An under-the-grave paranormal event took place in Gulfport. Dave Childers is a Mississippi-based paranormal researcher, and he did an under-the-grave tour of Terror on the Coast. Now, Terror, we'll get to this in a minute, but anyways, thanks to COVID-19, they couldn't obviously bring people with them on the tour. So they streamed it on Facebook Live, and he did it with only part of his team for social distancing reasons to ensure that everyone had adequate space and everything. But yeah, they streamed it on Facebook Live, and it's a very interesting way to keep the haunt open. Though I'm very curious why paranormal researchers wanted to look at Terror on the Coast.
Well, they said that there's a lot of energies put off by people when they go through haunted houses. There's laughter, there's screaming, there's terror. And they wanted to see if there were any residue, if there was residue from the energies customers go through the haunted house were putting off.
That makes a degree of sense, I guess. I mean, I'm not into this paranormal researcher stuff, to be clear.
Right.
I know diddly squat about it, other than it's a great way for a lot of haunts to make extra money. Especially if you're like the mortuary and have the pedigree and the history there of it. But yeah, I was really confused when I heard they were doing it. Because I'm like, look, this isn't a knock on Terror on the Coast. Terror on the Coast, though, is basically a giant warehouse of movie props that you can walk, that they arrange into a haunted house. Right. And mind you, that's pretty cool, because if you go through with a keen eye and a good memory, you're going to see stuff you recognize.
Yeah. And, and because they are a warehouse of lots of different props and things, I was thinking of because I've watched a lot of Supernatural lately. So I was thinking of them going in with their EF meters or whatever and trying to find props that were haunted. Not that I believe in that stuff either, but, that could be one way to spell it.
Yeah, but still, it's an interesting idea, and this may be something other haunts would want to explore. I mean, not just during COVID, but as a way of keeping interest in the off-season. Right. Because, we're about now, I mean, we're literally, we're literally about as far away from Halloween as you can get. Yeah. We're 6 months to Halloween, so it's as far in the past and as far in the future combined. You know what I mean? It's going to get. Yeah, there's a halfway to Halloween party coming up soon that we didn't put in the resources. I'm not sure why. Oh, right. Anyways.
Maybe next week. It's still out.
It's still. But long story short, too late, this is an idea to keep interest in your haunt year round. Invite some paranormal research to do exactly this. Have them stream it on Facebook Live. Have them bring a crowd over. You never know. Have them shoot some video for their YouTube channel, whatever. Yeah. It's a great way to keep interest up. And to the people that enjoy this stuff and live for it, it can be another boost for your haunt. It can be another little more cred, a little more reputation.
Yeah.
So, something to think about. Like I said, I'm not into it other than as an opportunity.
Yeah.
But it's a cool opportunity.
Yeah, it is. And, so there's that.
Right.
All right. Next, we go to Denver, Colorado, where the Frightmare compound has turned their haunted house.
Well, one of them.
One of the buildings in their haunted house into a home gym. There's a YouTube video on it. Definitely check out the video. Basically, they did a full circuit training gym for his family. Zombie-themed activities.
It's all about trying to survive a zombie apocalypse.
Right.
So it starts out with like jump rope for 30 minutes, and
then do monkey bars across the top of the thing,
yeah.
and then roll and get a gun and shoot a target.
Yeah, it's a bunch of it ranges from very intense workout, like a rope climb and things like that, to this is just fun.
Yeah,
we're just having fun with this one,
and it looks like they're having a lot of fun in the video. And they do show them going through the obstacle course, so it's definitely worth a watch. And
I'll say this: if you have a jealous partner. Maybe watch the video away from them.
Okay.
Because he likes to show off attractive women. And that's all I'm going to say about it.
They're in his family.
I get it. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying that, well, look at the thumbnail of the video.
Next.
We're going to move on from that. Yeah, all right. So, article by Jeff Ealing at ABC 13 talks about a Houston area couple that has set up their very large, very ornate Halloween display amid all this quarantining and coronavirus stuff. Basically, these guys had a kind of a similar situation to what we did, and that their usual Halloween activities were canceled. In their case, it was rain. Ours, it was we ain't got no road.
Yeah.
But anyways, it was canceled, so they're setting it up now so that people can come by and basically Halloween in April.
Yeah.
And it's the Strickler family. They're also giving out candy. They're doing social distance candy give-outs. Give-outs. Trick-or-treating or whatever.
Yeah. And this was in March, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in March, but I think they still have it up.
Oh, okay.
It was in March, though, you're right. But yeah, they, this is a very, very cool thing to do. We have been debating whether we want to put up our skeleton display or a skeleton display.
Mm-hmm.
We have opted not to for now, I think.
Right.
Just because I think we kind of missed the opportunity to do it as part of the problem.
Yeah, probably.
But because now I think we're entering the phase of this where people are sick of it.
Yeah, well, and it's weird because it feels like we're at a new normal. So it feels like it should be safe to go out.
Yeah.
Because we've been inside for so long, even though it isn't. And so, but I don't know. Maybe we haven't missed the chance.
Maybe, I don't know.
Especially if they do go ahead with a stay inside order through the end of May.
Yeah, we may have to.
Then we'll do something. Yeah,
that's not a bad idea. If they extend it for a month, we'll do something. I don't know exactly what or how we'll pan it out, but we'll get something done because we'll A, have the time, and B, just need to make people happy.
Yeah.
Need to do something to make people happy.
Yeah.
It's because that's one of the frustrations in all this is we have our bi-weekly crafting chat.
Right.
And the thing we keep hearing over and over and over again from the people who appear on is like, this is the only socialization I'm doing regularly. This is helping me keep my day straight.
Mm-hmm.
This is helping me smile some. And it's like, and yeah, I get it. I'm lucky in that I'm quarantined with two wonderful, lovely ladies that I love very much. And I'm very happy with my situation as far as being stuck at home.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, there are other people for whom going out was their only socialization, was their only human contact. And if a skeleton display that you can drive by and look at cheers anyone's day up, then it's probably worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure how many people we get coming over to look at it, but
we could. If we promoted it on the Bernie Baxter page, I'm sure the media would come out.
Yeah, people would probably drop by.
People would probably drop by.
Yeah,
I think people would come by.
Yeah, because our fans like your fans. They love us like they love you.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think this is, but yeah, getting back to the couple hand, this is a great idea. And now that we're halfway to Halloween, there is another opportunity to do it.
Right.
In fact, that's the theme we could use, is halfway to Halloween. That'd be fun. I'm seeing ideas now.
Well, then we could get all of the stuff, all of the skeletons and stuff that are in the shed for the yard display out and clean out the shed.
Oh, Jesus.
While the, while it's, empty enough for two people to get in there.
Our
Just
shed might be a solid mass of Halloween.
Well, yeah. Why is this a surprise to anybody?
Well, it's just it's comical because I think it's a 12 by 15 shed. Or 12 by 12.
I think it's 10 by 10. But
it's bigger than 10 by 10.
Okay.
But it's slightly bigger than 10 by 10. But anyways, whatever it is, it's just basically this cube of solid Halloween boxes and like literally it's just a brick inside of a metal container.
Yeah. I mean, it was organized.
Once upon a time. And then we just kept adding and adding and adding and adding and adding and adding and oh my God.
It's, oh crap, we've got to get all this stuff out of here. Let's throw it into there. And, yeah.
Long story short, yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, congrats to those.
Yeah, those
Houston
lovely people.
Couple. Thank you for keeping Halloween
spreading
alive.
some Halloween cheer.
Yes. All right. Next, Terror in the Corn pulled a April Fool's prank.
And it actually made it into our newsfeed. I remember me or you that dropped it in. But we dropped it in with the intent of covering it. But, of course, they'd announced it was an April Fool's prank by the time we actually got to it.
Okay. That was you. So it's from Erie, Colorado. On April 1st, they announced that they were changing their name to 13th Row.
And people liked the name a lot.
Yeah, people did like the name. But then they announced that they're not actually changing their name. So some people were sad, some people were, supportive either way, as fans will be wont to do.
Yeah, and it was kind of weird because I actually like the name 13th Row. I think it's a brilliant name.
Yeah.
For a corn maze or haunted corn maze.
I think it could be complicated.
Why?
Because I think I don't know. I think that it could be.
Regardless, like I said, the name, and the thing about the name they have now, which is Terror in the Corn, I think they were the original with that name, and they have the domain, terrorinthecorn.com.
That makes them the original.
Well, it makes them at least the biggest presence. But they have, there are at least four other attractions with that name in the United States, and that was after just a very quick Google search.
Right.
So, it's obviously a very common name.
Yeah.
No one else has 13th Row, I can guarantee you that much.
Yeah, that is very true.
So, I don't know. I think, honestly, I think 13th Row was a much better name. They should have gone with it. I would just run with it after people were like, hey, great name change.
Yeah, exactly.
And I guess the moral of the story is if you're going to do an April Fool's joke and do a fake name change, make goddamn sure the name you're joking about changing to is objectively worse than the one you have. Because otherwise, you may actually end up disappointing people rather than... Because a good joke makes people happy when it's revealed it's a joke. Oh, right. Thank goodness, Yeah. I liked it.
Yeah. That's true.
Not the intention. Not the intention, I'm assuming. All right. Now, our final story is by Dan Howard, Coaster Nation. This is the one I put in because if we had time at the end, we have a little bit of time. I mean, news episodes always wrap up a little bit early. We're at about the 40-minute mark right now, so we got at least a few minutes to discuss this. But yeah, this is a great article by Dan Howard, Coaster Nation, titled "The Future of Amusement Parks and Haunted Attractions After COVID-19 Pandemic." And honestly, I want to first off say Chris Gay in episode 225, which is just a few episodes back, he called it.
Yeah.
Almost everything they pointed out in this article, he said.
Right.
It was legend how accurate he was and how on the point he was with it.
Yeah, almost like
it was based on what he was saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if Brett Hayes listened to the episode before he was interviewed.
Or maybe, but I think it's just a sign that Chris knew what the hell he was talking about.
Sure.
But yeah, no, and it talked about, and I never honestly thought about, like, for, apparently we just lost our connection, by the way. I think the internet is struggling.
Well, we're still recording.
I know. Regardless, so anyways, Dan Howard, though, but talked about how basically amusement parks are going to have a lot of frustration coming forward because basically they're going to have to change the way they do business in order to ideally keep functioning, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things they talked about was the idea of virtual queues.
Yeah.
Getting rid of, the traditional queue line that we have seen everywhere. It's something that's going to happen. And yeah, those virtual queues are controversial. They don't seem to be universally popular. But long story short, too late, I know. But yeah, it's an idea that's going to have to be adopted. I think haunted attractions are going to have to start trying to adopt them too. Right,
and there was talk in there about going through and cutting down and changing all of the things that people have to push out of the way. That's still going to be something that, the hauntants have to think about, is how do you put in breaks between your rooms without having physical barriers.
Yeah. And to that end, I mean, Leonard Pickle has been preaching that for decades now,
mm-hmm.
the ways he does. And then one of the ways he does it, of course, is with just empty hallways that connect the two rooms but have a zigzag in them so that you can't see straight from one room to the next. These are the very compact, very short hallways.
Right.
But they break that line of sight.
Yeah, and I think Chris was also suggested, going light to dark really fast.
Mm-hmm.
Also messes with your vision so that you can't see as well. So you could do that also.
Yeah, but the idea of people touching things to move them out of the way, whether they are like those curtains or those meat packing, I don't even know what they're called, the thick plastic you use like for refrigerated rooms, and dummies and things
body
like that.
bags,
yeah, body bags. That's gonna have to be a thing of the past,
right?
Because people aren't going to be comfortable touching them, and there's just no goddamn effective way to sanitize them while you're open.
Right. Exactly.
So yeah, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it talked about a great deal about that, and like I said, Chris Gay, I think, just nailed it. He also they talked about the makeup room and the issues of trying to protect the staff,
right, and how you can't have two people be the same character probably, so that they could switch out unless you have two separate costumes that are obviously labeled for them.
Yeah.
Which is something that Chris talked about also.
Yes, it was. I mean, Chris Gay was like remarkably on point with all this. And so, yeah, I think that's just proof that he knew what the hell he was talking about, and he did us all a great service by spending some time with us and spreading his wisdom.
Yeah.
I was very, very happy about that.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's all the news we have. Unfortunately, it does look like we got disconnected. I think we're having an internet outage of some stripe.
Yeah, I heard the wind picked up.
And we heard the wind pick up, and like I said, we got the backup microphone here. That's what we're actually going to be pulling the episode off of. So we will have Haunt Weekly.
Right.
We don't have to redo this.
Yes.
But still, so obviously we're going to have to maybe reschedule these if there's going to be weather or something like that in the future.
Right. And if we're going to reschedule, you can find out where and when.
It will be at Haunt Weekly on Facebook, Haunt Weekly on Twitter, HauntWeekly.com is the website, and of course YouTube.com/HauntWeekly is our YouTube channel. Next week, I think we're going to try a different service for the streaming.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things with this, and is we're kind of, one of the rules we have when we started Haunt Weekly was we wanted to make it so that minimal effort was required to do it.
Yeah.
We wanted to make it a low-effort podcast, and the reason for that is we wanted to make it a true weekly podcast.
Right.
If you're going to make something a weekly podcast and you're going to fit it in with your job, your haunting, and everything else that we do,
Any kind of social life.
family life, diddly-diddly-dee, you've got to minimize the time it takes.
Right.
I know, do a shot. I said diddly-diddly-dee, do a shot. Just said it again, so now I get another one. Ha-ha! I control you. But anyways, so yeah, we're introducing this video stuff slowly. We're taking it one step at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe by the time this pandemic's done, we'll have it all figured out.
Right.
And we'll just be doing this, cruising along, having a great time.
Yeah, if you are enjoying the videos, please make sure to let us know, because we are looking at possible paid help with getting the videos out there.
Yeah, we are looking for us to pay
Right.
Others to help us get it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. If this is something that you guys...
streaming service,
Yeah,
basically.
streaming service, yeah.
Not individuals.
Exactly. And I knew what you meant.
Yeah, but I was
Make sure
trying
that
to
people
be
knew what you
clear.
meant. But the point is, yeah, we're looking at spending a little bit of money on trying to improve this, not to a crazy amount.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing, is if we're going to be doing this weekly, we had to keep the budget to a minimum, because we're not wealthy people by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
I mean, dear God, we live in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
In Algiers.
Yeah.
But anyways, so yeah, it's a learning process for us. Thank you for your patience with us.
Yes.
And like I said, until next time, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this was Haunt Weekly episode number 228, doing the March-April news. We will see you guys next week, hopefully making more progress still on the video thing.
Yes.
See you then, Sunday at 8.